when he drops the price is gonna sound high, but the price is high because it works. This is his exact line that I use till now, and I closed 30 deals after just using this particular line.
Damn, 30 deals.
Yep, yep.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Closers Network podcast. As you could see, today is our first ever virtual podcast because our guest today is very far away, and I'm excited to introduce our guest today because he's been making some impact inside of the Closers Network free school community, guys, and I can't wait to get into his story. So just so you guys know, our guest today started his sales journey only a few months ago, actually officially of July this year. He says the Closers Network has changed his life. Before July this year, he was all about tech and customer fulfillment with zero sales experience. But he didn't let those early no's hold him back from getting to where he's at today. He hit the ground running. He joined our weekly coaching calls almost every day consistently. And he actually went ahead and increased the price of his own offer by 380%. We're going to dive into those numbers here in a little bit just by implementing the coaching that we provide for free. So this guy is all about proving what most thought would be impossible, which is really selling high ticket offers in India. He said him and his partner believed that selling a high ticket product in India would be really difficult and even near impossible, but they made it possible. And by the way, here's a fun twist. Before stepping into the high ticket world here, our guest has been a filmmaker for the last 5 years, so I'm excited to talk about that. And now he's closing lots of deals, inspiring thousands. And his top advice for every single one of you out there is ask yourself what Coach Mike would do. And we're going to dive into that in a little bit. I got some exciting stuff to share. So let's dive in. Let's learn from someone who's broken beliefs, driven results, and really done the impossible and made it possible. So welcome to the show, Rajiv. How you doing?
Hey Mike, so I'm really excited to start this podcast. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the thing about Closest Network and thing about you is, so yeah, this has really changed my life. So I'm excited to start this podcast. Yeah, super excited.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm excited to dive into your story here. You started your sales journey recently, right? This year in July, and you faced a lot of rejections starting out. Can you walk our listener through like your first few weeks? And, it sounded like you had a tough start, but what really kept you from not giving up?
So yeah, in the beginning when I started my sales journey, so before I started, I was more like I was handling the operations, the tech, and all the other things in my company. But then I was like, I need to start sales, right? I have to start sales. So in the beginning, it was really tough to, first few calls were tough, getting those no's because I was following the process, I was doing everything, but it was tough in the beginning. And what changed was getting on these calls with you guys, like getting on those weekly training calls. There are like 5 weekly training calls in Closest Network, and on every training call, it's like you hyping me up, or it's like some other coach hyping me up. There was this one line a coach said, there was like I am emotionally invested in your success, and I'm like, damn. So
Damn.
in that moment I felt like I'm not alone in this. I'm
Yeah.
sitting I saw other people on the calls who were like closing $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month in commissions, and then like, dude, that's crazy. Like if they're making 10 15k in commissions, so they're like selling like 100k, 150k, why can't I do the same? So yeah, so that kept me up. And from the initial journey when I was not closing, then I just got my first sale. Just started applying what you guys are telling me on the calls, like do this, that, do the proper discovery and all those things. And I started closing, and it started slow and then it just expanded. And the last in the last 2 months, honestly, I made more than the last year. So this is this is how.
Damn. So let me regurgitate that back again. What I hear you saying is you decided to get into sales, but I want to know what made you decide to know like sales is for sure what I want to get into. How did you come up with that?
I started this like me and my best friend Sid. We started this company. So Sid is the main, like me and Sid are the co-founders of Gym Boost. right? So Gym Boost is a
Yep.
company where we help gym owners, right? So
Yep.
I had the role of marketing and operations, where I will handle those
Yep.
things. And Sid was the guy who was gonna, who's the big picture, who's sales, who's the branding and all those things. So Sid has had some experience with sales. So he had a lot of sales calls. He had done previous experience. So he has done over 5,000, 10,000, like more than those sales calls. So for
Wow.
him, it was really easy to close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, like for him, it was really easy, super like easy to close. He was that I saw his closes, and it was like I can't even break down like what's going on from those level. And after that, he he had to focus on something else. So he left. Was focusing on, so he could not get on sales call for a few weeks or months. So I was like, I have to handle the sales also. But for me, it was really tough. Like you have to do the sales. Like sales is the part of the business
Yeah.
which is not optional. So I felt like I have to
Especially as a
learn it.
filmmaker.
Especially, oh yeah. So yeah, before this I was a filmmaker, so it was completely new to me. And getting into sales, what motivated me was like seeing how you guys talk about sales. Plus, it's like also like in my belief, it's like a power. If you know how to
Mm.
make money, you know, if you know how to like bring food on the table, it's like I want that power. I want that thing. Need to know sales. I have to know sales. And so yeah, that's how I started sales. What motivated me in general was nothing, was just I wanted to make money. So yeah, that
Okay.
was my main core motivation in sales. But then
I love it.
it was like I started it, and it became like a obsession. Like I just have to improve my calls. I have to improve my calls. And after every call, I was like, this is the best call I have had. And then I had the same experience for like 50 calls. Like
Yeah.
every call, after every call, I was like, this was the best call. Like it was like I have to get on more calls like this. So like I, even if I did not close, because I did everything that you guys told me, and I felt like I helped him make a decision, whether it's a yes or no. It felt powerful, and I love that feeling of sales. So,
Damn. That's awesome. That's awesome, Rajiv. So just for me to break that down, guys. So Rajiv has a company right out in India. It's called Gym Boost. And I would think, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you know who Alex Hermosi is?
yes, yes, yes.
So I feel like you're the Alex Hermosi of India because Alex Hermosi has Gym Launch. You guys have Gym Boost, but you're doing essentially the same thing, right? Which is helping gym owners in India, which I'm excited to get into because honestly, you guys are probably charging more for gym memberships there than we are here in the States, which is freaking crazy. I didn't know that, so I learned something new from you. So I'm excited to dive into that. But basically what I hear you saying is, hey, I knew like I wanted to get into sales because I want to make money. And I'm so glad you said that because there's so many people get into sales. I'm like, dude, if you're getting into sales, you better love making money, right? You better love money. You better love making money because if you don't, you're not going to get some, right? And so I love that you're like, dude, I got into sales because I'm like, I need to make money. I want to make money. I freaking love that. So that's awesome. So it sounds like along this path you shattered some beliefs that you had, right? Especially coming in having no sales background, being a filmmaker, doing some customer service stuff. How did you like overcome? It sounds like, hey, you saw people in our community talking about they're making $10,000, $15,000. You're like, damn, I could do that too. Like, what helped you overcome some of those beliefs that you were holding early on, maybe?
Mainly seeing someone else do it. Someone like people
Mm.
like you, and like when I got on those calls with you guys, plus the community, the school community, I see like everyone else is doing closes. Like everyone is selling. Everyone is like having like making money and things like this, and they're using the same process as you guys, and you guys are getting on calls and like talking about your sales calls, right? So one part was that, like seeing you guys do it. Other from that, it was like I have to do it. Like I believed, like I like to be good at something. So if I start something, I have to be good at it. Until unless I'm not good at it, I'm not gonna leave it. So that's my
I love that.
like that's how I started in terms of my experience as a filmmaker. uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you want, I can talk about a bit about my filmmaking my journey since before I started closing. So I started my filmmaking as a intern, as a 18-year-old. I first time went on a set, and I went on a short film set, and I worked on a short film, and I loved it. So I was like, this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life at that point as a 18-year-old. But
Wow.
after doing that, after spending a day, I was like, I wanted to work with this director, but I did not got the opportunity because I did not have any experience with editing, with filmmaking. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was a like an 18-year-old. So that at that moment, I felt like I'm not good enough. So I just started editing. I started editing 3 months later. The same guy invited me out, and he was like, "Do you want to work? Do you want to be my assistant? Do you want to do an internship?" And I was like, "Yes." So it kept on doing the same thing. So at that point, like, I did not. I wanted something, I couldn't get it. So like, I'm gonna do everything I can till I get it. So the same went with that job, with the editing job. Then I started working for a dating coaching guy. I remember, right, a few days week. I remember, like, it was a goal of mine as a 19-year-old kid. It was a goal that I wanted to work for a best dating coach in India, and I did that. After a few months later, I somehow got some kind of a network opportunity. I knew a guy who knew a guy, and I got a job. I got a freelancing job. Then he offered me a full time job, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. After working with
That's
him,
awesome.
I was like, I saw him building his company from zero to 100 to 100K a year. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the same. So then I matured into like I want to start a business. So this is how
Damn.
like for me the main motivation is if I'm not good at something, I want to do everything I can until I am good at it. I just don't quit. So yeah,
Master the craft.
master it.
I love that. I love that. And speaking of mastering the craft, you went from, you recently shared with me that you had a 380% increase in how much you increased the price of your product out there for Gym Boost. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys were selling the package for $250, which by the way is worth a lot more in India, right? $250 to us is worth a lot more there. But you went from charging $250 to $1,200 for the same package, right? What strategies helped you make that change in price point, like, and still convert at the same conversion ratio? Help us understand that. That's a huge jump.
Yep, that's a huge jump. So the strategy that helped us was there was the two-part thing that I think that we did that was the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
The first part was changing the offer, right? Before we were selling for a retainer marketing service, right? But our service was not like that. So we used to teach them how to sell memberships. We used to get them leads and things like that. So the thing that we did was rather than giving them one thing like a monthly retainer thing, they were just gonna stay for like 4 months. So either way, we are gonna make like $1,000 from them, right? $1,000, $1,200. That's
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
max that we found out after working for 6 months. So what we did was we changed the offer from a retainer to a one-time offer where we'll teach you everything. Plus, we'll first month we'll do it for you, right? The second month we'll teach you how to generate your own leads, how to sell, how to do everything. That was the main thing. Second thing
Mm-hmm.
was I felt like I could sell this for much higher, right? So
Yeah.
well, the other part was the I would say that was the main part, the confidence, right? Because
Mm.
I saw people like charging for like thousands and thousands of dollars, even in India. I saw some people, they have good sales, process skills going on. They're charging even 4 times higher than us, right? Not in our niche, but in other niche.
Wow.
But they're charging like 4 times higher in India. Like they're charging like $4,000, $5,000, like some people are charging $15,000 in India.
Four or $5,000.
Yeah,
That's huge.
yep.
That's huge.
So I was like, fuck it, like we have to do it. Like
I love that.
I just, I remember the moment I closed the first guy when we increased this price.
Yeah.
From 250, I closed the first guy, and I told my partner, said, like, we are gonna close this person at the while increasing 800% the prices. And
Wow.
I like believed it into so much. Like I talked to the guy on a discovery call, like a 5 minute call, and he was hot. And I was like, before this, we used to sell for 20,000 rupees, like $250. And I was like, I went to my partner and I was like, we are gonna sell this guy for $1,200. I know it, I'm gonna do it. And I dropped the price, and he was like, I have the sales recording somewhere. He's like, the guy said to me, "Maja aa gaya." Like in Hindi, it's mean this is amazing. Like after that price point, like this is amazing, and I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. So that was one part. To do it consistently, I have to give credit where credit is due. Uh, I went on a coaching call, right, and with you guys, and one of the coaches told me, he told his strategy of how he closes for a higher ticket. He gave me uh, he said like he charges $10,000. So he said like the product price is $2,000 or $3,000, but he on the call he's like, when he drops the price is gonna sound high, but the price is high because it works. This is his exact line that I use till now, and I closed 30 deals after just using this particular line. So it's like the
Damn, 30
yep,
deals.
yep. And so I just say like the price is 2,80,000. So it's like 4 times higher than what we're charging, $1,200. So it's like $4,000. Then I'm like, I'm just kidding. The price.
$4,000 packages is what you guys are selling out there now?
No, I just increase the price there to $4,000. Then I'm like, the good news is the price is $1,200 for today. Uh, I'm just
Okay, you price anchor it.
yeah,
Did Coach George teach you that?
Coach George teach me that. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
Shout out Coach George, baby. You're making impact, bro. You're making impact in India. Let's freaking go. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Damn. So, Rajiv, you shared with me how much is a gym membership? These packages you're selling to gym owners, Gym Boost, right? How much is a typical gym membership you shared with me last week?
Yeah, in India, typical gym membership.
Yeah, I think you said between $300 and $500, right?
Yep. 300 to those are for some premium packages, $300 to $500. But the medium
Wow.
packages are like $100. So like those clients stay for like month.
Dude, that's
That's yeah. It's
That's crazy because like I go, I've been a very like high-end gyms over here and all of that stuff and 100, and maybe 200, $300 max. So to like I'm sure there's places that are a little bit more, but dude, $300 to $500 for a gym membership is a lot of money. That's crazy. So that's awesome. You're basically promoting your packages to these gym owners that are selling packages for anywhere from 100 as low to $300 to $500 for some higher end packages, and you're helping them get more people into their door, essentially helping them market, showing them how to fish, right, so they can learn the skill sets themselves and grow their gym businesses, essentially.
yep, yep. So yeah,
Dude, that's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. I gotta say, Rajiv, you always show up and you always ask for help, whether it's on my coaching call, whether it's on Coach George, Coach Trish, um, or any of the other coaches inside of our school community, and so Coach Micah. So, dude, on our coaching sessions, we've discussed like how to handle objections, like it's too expensive or I need to think about it, right? How has it your approach changed since you started coaching in the network for free? And what's your favorite way to overcome an objection now? Like, what do you say typically when that objection, if it's too expensive or I need to think about it, comes up?
yeah. So it changed drastically. Like one thing was the mindset shift, like how you guys do it, and
Yeah.
so it changed drastically. The right now, if someone gives me an objection, I see it and I have a proper framework in mind. Like you guys also teach that in your classes on a regular basis. But I have a proper framework in mind. It's like the fear framework that I use all the time. So just
Yes.
so I use the same framework, and it just I just acknowledge the guy who is giving me an objection. It's a price objection, or it's whatever objection. Then I just find out what's the real thing that's holding him back. Is it an internal objection or an external
Mm-hmm.
objection? So you might hear this, and it's the exact same line as that you teach. But yeah, it's an internal or an external. If it's an internal objection, so I try to handle that by raising his beliefs. So for that, Mike, I have to give a shout out to you specifically, because whenever I'm getting those objections, like I remember a line of yours that's like, in your coaching calls, you have to be their coach, right? You have to help them make a decision, right? So I just transfer that coach Mike energy into them, and like I'm trying to be their coach. I'm trying to help them out, and something that I've found best for me that you guys are particularly good at is asking for the sale, right?
Nah.
I love it asking for a sale, and I just doing that. I closed some sales who were skeptical. Those kind of people, like people who want to buy, they want to buy, but there's people who are like,
Yeah.
I feel like you guys say it, but objection, like people who object, those are the real closes. Like those people are not typically going to get closed. So if I can change an objection to a yes, that's the deal. That's why I'm a closer. So I do that. I just raise their belief, get them pounded, get them hyped up for this thing, and close it. So yeah,
That's awesome.
uh, though a lot of things like I don't believe that we can break down how to handle objection in a single way, but it's mainly
Yeah.
about raising their belief. So if I have to say it one liner,
Yes.
raise their beliefs. uh, the kudos like that's from you. So raise their belief and close. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome, man. You're making some awesome impact. And one thing I want to get into actually, right? You said you're inspired by the phrase, what would Coach Mike do? Do you have an example of a time where you applied that in a real sale? I think you shared a story with me before, but I'd love for the listener to hear the story.
Like I apply that on a daily basis. So I have a lot of stories from that. So I applied so much that I made a chat GPT named Coach Mike. What would Coach Mike do? A chat prompt.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I do apply it on a day-to-day basis. What I do is the last time I applied it was on a sales call where I was just thinking of giving up. Like I'm trying to handle this objection for the last 10 minutes, and the same objection just keep piling up. So I thought to myself, what
Mm-hmm.
Coach Mike do? And it's like, do not give up. Like if you are the thing that I remember was, if they're not hanging up, they want to get closed. So I was like, oh, like is this the trick? Like because a lot of people do not hang up. They're like they
Yeah.
a bit hesitate. So if they're not hanging up, I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
like I am in the close. I do everything XYZ to help them, because if I'm in the close, I am there because I know I can solve their problem. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've done a good discovery. I know they have a problem. It's costing them this much every year, this month, every month. So if we do not solve it, who else is gonna solve it, right? So
That's right.
uh, that's how I approach it. Like whenever I'm having a doubt, or whenever I'm like, it's like Coach Mike thing is like, what would Coach Mike do is like holding yourself to a higher standard, right? Uh,
Mm.
that's why I try like to give the recordings to the ChatGPT bot. I have trained it on your recording, your training calls. I just give the recording to him, and sometimes it's the answers are not good, but sometimes the answers are good. And like, hey, you
Yeah.
missed this part, and this is how Coach Mike would say it or do it, or it just keeps you in loop. Like there's you are not the best, because it's easy to go into that mindset also. I'm the best, I don't need to learn anymore. But that's why you guys are
Mm-hmm.
for to keep me in check. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, Rajiv. So it's crazy because I know you shared with me, you downloaded all of my transcripts, you gave it to ChatGPT, and you would ask it like, what would Coach Mike say? And it would say, here's Mike's challenger response, here's Mike this response, that's response. But the crazy thing that you broke a belief that I had, okay? Because I always talk about the concept of hard nose and soft nose, right? And soft nose are people that you can absolutely follow up with. And an easy way to know if someone is a soft nose, they usually ignore you. They tell you, Rajiv, I'm not ready now. Follow up with me later. hey Rajiv, can't talk right now, right? Let's connect a little bit later. Or they just ignore you, right? And ignore is a soft no. And I always say always follow up with soft no's. And then I talk about hard no's. And the hard no is like, Rajiv, F off. Rajiv, don't reach out to me. Stop. You know, don't contact me no more. Don't, I'm not interested, right? Those are hard no's. And I always teach, like, don't ever waste time or energy on a hard no, right? Just, they already said no, just move on because you got plenty of soft no's. However, you shared with me that you got a text from someone and they basically said, Rajiv, stop. Like, don't, like, I'm not interested, right? And you took the dialogue that you had back and forth in the text message, and you said that you gave it to ChatGPT, even though they already told you this is a hard no, like reach out, but you gave it. Can you walk us through what happened in that story? Because it broke beliefs that I had that now you can actually close hard no's. Can you share with the audience what you did?
I think I can also share the screenshot, but I can't. I can't. I have to find it, but I can give the screenshot to you as well. But what happened was I was on my desktop, and this guy just WhatsApped me, and it was a call that I took in the morning, and he said, "Rajiv, I like what you do, but this is not the thing for us for XYZ reason, and we can't do this right now." And like, damn, he gave me a small paragraph, and I like, okay, so what do we do now? So I just copied the message and I gave it to the bot that I was training on, the Coach Mike thing, and I just gave it to him. What would Coach Mike reply to him now, right? And Coach Mike doesn't give up, right? Even the bot version. So he just replied. He just replied. He just gave me a text, okay, and I just copied the text and pasted it in the chat, and he was like, the next message that I got was, all right, man, let's do it. So, like, that simple.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So just so I could recap that, you took the text dialogue, you said, this is what the client said. He said he's no longer interested. You gave that to the bot and you asked the bot, what would Coach Mike say since Coach Mike doesn't give up on the calls? It gave you the response. You copied and pasted that in there. And the guy said, let's do it, basically.
Yep. That's like,
That's crazy. That took my beliefs to a whole new level after you shared that with me. I was like, bro, like you could close hard no's. I was like, this is a different thing now, right? But it sounded like what the text message said is it challenged him a little bit on the responses that he gave you, right?
yeah,
Because obviously the way that we teach, and you know this, but I want, if anyone doesn't know, guys, we don't ever bridge or pitch and share our product unless we know we have a problem to solve, right? We talk about our discovery, the most important phase in the call, and we talk about what are the most important things that we have to hit on discovery to determine if we actually pitch here. And in the discovery, we talk about labeling them with a problem. Why is the time to solve the problem now? What are the consequences if they don't solve this problem now? What is going to help them solve the problem? And what is their vision, right? Where are they at to where they want to go, the gap? And so because we have a solid discovery, it's not about like just forcing someone down something. So if they sold us in discovery on why all of that makes sense and they have the urgency and they have a problem and there's the why now, the consequence, right? All of that stuff, then there's something there, right? Then if Rajiv's already pitched, he's determined there's a problem to solve. So what he's saying is, dude, I wasn't going to give up on that person because they sold me on why they have this problem to solve. They want to grow their gym. They want to do X, Y, and Z. They want to get to this many members, right? But then they hit you with the objection. They hit you with the hard no. And you're like, dude, I'm still going to try to challenge him a little bit. You put it in the bot. The bot gave you the answer. You send it off to him and bam, you got a close. And how much money was that close worth?
it was like $500, not much, like $500.
Jeez, come on, dog, come on. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's awesome stuff, dude. One last thing I want to get into here before we wrap it up is you say sales has changed your life. It's given you freedom. It's given you control. What's the biggest lifestyle change that it's made for you after you've been able to close deals consistently? Since you said you made more money in the last 2 months than you did in the entire year before that. Help us understand what the biggest lifestyle change has been for you.
The biggest lifestyle changes is, man, like I'm not afraid to spend money anymore. Like it's like I was like before this, I was in the scarcity mindset. Like I
Yes.
can make only a certain amount of dollars per month. If even if I work if I work really hard. I can just make
Yeah.
this many dollars. This is my salary. This is that. But when I got into sales, it's a life changing impact. Now I can I just bought my dream. I just I just bought my dream bike. So
Wow.
it's just I'm not afraid to spend anymore. And when I'm
That's
spending,
amazing, man.
yeah, when I'm spending, even when I'm spending, I'm like I can make this back as soon as it's not about saving $100 here or there. It's just I can make this back if I just close one more deal. So things like that. So there it's abundance. So what I got from sales is abundance in mindset in life. Yeah.
Dang, bro, that's a game changer, man. I love it. I love it because a lot of people have a tough time getting into sales because of the scarcity mindset, right? You got in, you actually did the work, dude. One thing I really respect about you, Rajiv, is you're always showing up. You're in pretty much every week and every session. You're asking for help. There's a lot of people there that are sometimes just watching, and that's awesome too. But dude, you're always interactive. You're always asking questions. You're always role playing with me. You're always asking for help. And I don't think it's by coincidence. In just a few months since July, you've become a badass freaking high ticket closer, closing $1,000 plus packages out there, which is worth a lot more money out there to the people there than it is in dollars, right? That's like worth probably what, like 1,000 here is probably worth like 8,000 there, if I'm not mistaken, right? Some crazy number like that.
Yep.
So it's a whole different game, and you're crushing it. You saw what the opportunity could be. You realized, dude, I don't have to have a limited and scarcity mindset. If I want to make more money, baby, all I got to do is get back on the phones, talk to more people, help more people, right? And in helping more people, I can help make myself more money as well. And it's a win-win-win situation is kind of what I hear you saying.
Yep, exactly, man. Plus the confidence this have instilled in me, like having knowing sales. It's like I can never be the same person again. Like I can never go into that growth
Mm,
mindset again. It's like I have a skill
mm,
set that's gonna last me for life. People like Alex Hermosi says this, like skill set is what more than getting like any kind of other things, like getting a job or getting other things. Skill set is what matters. So imagine having a skill set that can make me 5,000, $10,000 a month, and even if one month goes bad, I know I have a skill set. Like I can always make more. I can always close more. I can always do more. So yeah. So really, that is the main thing that changes life. Like having a skill set. Because this is never gonna go away. People can take away AI can take away a lot of things, but it can't take away like they are always gonna be people who are gonna sell. So yeah. Uh, Thanks for
that's
asking.
right. I'm so glad you said that because, just 2 episodes ago, I had Richard Mugica on, founder of One Call Closers. And he literally, I asked him about AI and if he's concerned about like what's going to happen with sales reps and AI. And, he kind of gave his insights. If you haven't seen that episode, for those of you guys that are listening, I'd highly recommend going 2 episodes back before the Stephen Jones episodes, watching that. But one of the things that Richard said that salespeople need to do is leverage AI in their favor. It's not going to replace them, but damn, if they're smart, they got to be leveraging it. And dude, you're freaking smart. Like, you gave us a lot of insight on how to leverage ChatGPT in our own organization after you shared that with me. I can't even tell you what I've done with my ChatGPT bots. I'm not going to necessarily share that with everybody, but I could tell you I changed the entire game within the company after you told me that. And we've taken things to a whole new level with what we've been able to do with AI. And it's all because of the one thing you told me about. One day you just hopped on a coaching call and you're like, hey bro, I've been downloading all of your transcripts and giving it to ChatGPT. I'm like, what? And you got me thinking after that. And it started sparking like, how do we do things at scale now with ChatGPT within the company? And so we did. We're using it for so many different things, for sales reps, call reviews. Like there's so much that's happening right now, dude, that is incredible. And it's all in the prompts and the information you give it and all of that. But dude, it's become a crazy machine, and I'm excited for what's about to come. So to your point, like you should be leveraging AI in your favor and not thinking of it as like, oh, AI is here to like replace my sales job. It's like the opposite. It's like, dude, use AI to get better. Look at what Rajiv did. All he did was download the transcripts, ask AI what this person would do based on the transcripts. It said do this, and you're doing it, right? There's a lot of people who will just talk about it, but they'll never be about it. And dude, you're taking action, right? Hungry, coachable, willing to take action, right? Usually people are hungry, they could be coachable, but dude, a lot of people lack when it comes to taking action. The reality is you're putting in the necessary work, and that's the most important thing, because none of it's going to work if you don't do the work, right? So dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to just see everything to come for you, because this is like just a few months you've been doing this and your life has changed. I can't imagine what your life's going to be, dude, a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, because to your point, all the skill set that you've acquired in sales, you can establish that in anything else, whether it's filmmaking down the road, whether it's running companies, agencies, whatever you want to do. All of these skill sets are going to be transferable, man. So shout out to you, dude. You're inspiring. You're inspiring a lot of people, I'm sure, in your country and in our country as well. I wanted to have you on because I'm like, dude, there's so many people that come up with excuses, reasons to not be able to do this, to not do that. I'm like, dude, check out Rajiv, this guy out there in India, bro, like that is selling thousands of dollars in packages, making hundreds of dollars in commissions, changing lives, helping gym owners out there, helping himself, helping the company. And you're just doing it. You're not making excuses about it. And I wanted you to come on today so you can really just inspire other people, especially in the USA here today, that have all the excuses, that don't take the action. It's like, dude, what's your reason for not doing it? Because you can have all the reasons out there in your country to say, I can't do this, I can't do that, but you're making it work, right? So I wanted you to come on today, bro, to like really inspire everyone here in the US that's looking to get into remote high ticket sales, to help us take things to the next level, right? By having you on and inspiring, sharing your story, dude. So that being said, is there anything else you feel like you want to share and talk about that we haven't talked about on the podcast so far?
I just wanted to thank you, Mike, for giving me this opportunity to share my story. And to the last point you made, like uh, some people are saying like it's difficult to close in UK than in US, right? It takes 7. I just saw a video of a guy saying it takes 7 times longer than selling someone in US than it does in UK for them, right? For whatever product they have. So I feel the same, like even in India, it's like imagine we are in India, right? People are very conservative with their money. We are making it work here, right? So people in US, you guys have like way more easier, but you can deal with the balls that you deal with the you deal with what you got. So yeah, man. Plus the thing that the last thing I want to mention is the Chat GPT thing. That I'm glad to hear that
Yes.
you have implemented that in your company and it's working. That was the main reason I wanted to share that with you, because I've gotten a lot of value from you guys, and I was like, maybe this might help Mike in a small way. And if it does, it would be because whatever you guys do in one closer, it's like completely for free, right? So like, okay, can I do something for these guys? So can I can I give some kind of value, or because this is what we believe in, like giving back, like giving back what you got, giving back the value, giving you get what you give, right? So I'm glad
That's
that
right.
it worked, man. It worked for you, the chat GPT thing.
I appreciate it, bro. Yeah. And the feeling and the love is 100% mutual, man. We're all about giving. And to your point, right, we do 5 days a week free coaching, right? And people think it's free. Like it's free. Like, look at what you've done with your life just with the free stuff that we have, and it's so crazy to think like what's possible. And so guys, if you're interested to get inside the network, it's completely free. Click the second link in the description below here, and you can access our school community, the Closers Network, which is part of our sister company, One Call Closers, essentially the same company, right? One Call Closers is our sales agency. Closers Network's our free community. The same people that have scaled One Call Closers to over 200 million in revenue in just 5 years are the same team leaders and people that are giving you free game inside of school. So get in there and leverage it. Leverage it just like Rajiv has, right? He's a real life testimony that's here right now. His life has changed. I'm excited, dude. We'll have you back on again in the future. Would love to hear about what you're doing down the road. But dude, that's freaking awesome. And yeah, the ChatGPT thing has been absolutely crazy. I cannot tell you like some of the things that we've been able to incorporate with that and just take the game to a whole new level. So I'm just excited about what's to come, man. So I appreciate you, dude. Thanks for so much for making the time to do this. Can't wait for this episode to air. And man, we'll have you back on again, Rajiv. But guys, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, click the first link in the description below. Otherwise, if you just want to get in where Rajiv's been and just get all the free game, the free classes, the free frameworks, the free programs, the free coaching calls. All of that is in school. So click the second link in the description below. We hope to see you on the other side. Rajiv, man, thanks for making the time. I appreciate you, bro. And I can't wait to see your progress from here on out.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for this. Yeah. See you in a year. Like we'll see where I got from this.